Good evening, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. It's time for the next drop in the Final Fantasy Randomizer Deluge. Tonight's match is yet another Swiss round, first round match between Sforzand0 and Drumboardist. It's both of their first matches in the tournament so far. And we're looking forward to see how this one shakes out. Should be a close race between a couple of Final Fantasy Randomizer veterans. Joining me in the commentary booth tonight is Demon Frog. Demon Frog, how you doing?
Doing all right. Ready for a little bit of late night randomizers.
Yeah, late night randomizer action on a Sunday night is a perfect thing to send yourself off to sleep with. So let's see how this one shakes out. What are you looking at here? It looks like our first party member, of which there is one in the first stage of the tournament, is a white mage. And we're seeing Drumboardist now make his selections for his next three characters. He's going to go red mage. Well, let's look at Sforzand0's first. He's got a red mage, a fighter, and a black mage. And Drumboardist is selecting exactly the same party. So, looks like not much to analyze there, but pretty straightforward party, right?
Yep, covers your bases on all your magic, and with the experience and the stat multipliers that we're running right now, you don't really end up seeing black belts that much.
Yeah, the EXP scaling just a hair over 2 times, so it's not the LoL XP you'd like to do a big grind where the black belt is useful, so they've both opted here. The only tank they've really got is the fighter, and then they've got, of course, the balance of white, black, and both magics. Depending on how the spells shake out early, it's really going to be the same for both players. So they're going to have to, outskill each other. No one's going to get lucky in terms of gear or spells here.
Yeah, there was a race last night, and the race I was in actually, the problem's going to end up being finding the sword. Last night they had fighters with ice swords taking on chaos. This afternoon it was 2 knights with defense swords.
Yeah, if it comes to that, that takes a lot more levels or a lot more buffs than you're going to need if you find the the Mass Moon, the Excalibur. If you've got a lot, or the Power Bond can really help get things done in situations like that. So we'll have to see how the equipment shakes up tonight, if it's anything like we've seen earlier today, or if yet another adventure. Nice thing about the randomizer is that it's different every time you play.
The nice thing running 3 mages, if any of them end up not being able to pull their weight, you can just ban them and go ahead and have the 3 party members so that they get the more experience each for every fight you're in.
Yeah, for sure, especially if the black magic is bad, you can let him go, but looks like we're underway here, at least on Sforzand0's side. Could be a bit of lag, whatever, keeping Drumboardist's screen off. And there he goes.
White mage tank, I like it. Oh, there we go.
Nothing too special in the white magic. We got Fog 2. Over in black, we got early Ice 3 and early Warp. Beautiful spells. Ice 3 is a bit of a jackhammer. It's one of the most powerful black magic spells in the game. And Warp, of course, super useful utility spell to help you warp up a floor in dungeons. It's got all kinds of uses throughout the game. The earlier you get it, the better. So this is really good for saving both runners a lot of time and cutting to the heart of the game. So I'd really like to see that early.
Quad X also in that 4th slot is really good early on. Can take down pretty much anything.
And some cheap swords too, so affordable gear for the fighter to get started. And it looks like we're going to have just about everything you could want here, with the exception of any really good white magic to start. But even Fog 2 was level 1, and that's a pretty good buff, giving all of your party a significant amount of absorb.
Alright, that's Sforzand0 checking out the items. Nice cheap tents. Soft's a bit pricey.
Soft's a little pricey, heals pretty close to vanilla, and cheap tents and pures is nice to get started. They both on a little grind, grab a few items. Drumboardist, the first to enter Temple of Fiends, picks up another tent.
It's always good to see nice cheap tents in Corneria. I know if you don't end up getting an overworld save item, the run to Elfland can be very, very nasty.
Yeah, the early game is always perilous. You gain so many levels and so much EXP right at the start that without that, you can really take for granted how easy or how hard the beginning of this game is. We got some unrunnable zombies aren't pleasant. Ice 3 is not really the spell you want to have to burn here. He's got, both parties are going to have 4 charges combined between the two, so they'll be okay at first. But that can run out quick if you keep getting stuck with these unrunnable fights.
Yeah, a lot of the times I do like trying to get that first level and run right back into Corneria, drop a save at the end, and then you're running in with 6 charges instead of 4.
Yeah, I like the call. It looked like that happened for both. So Drumboardist again, the first to get to Garland. He found the bridge in the top left chest. Garland's got heat. It's a bit inconvenient, but the Ice 3 is going to take care of him. Sforzand0 takes advantage of its tent, so if he gets heated up here, then he'll be in good shape to retry.
You're at Crown, which is nice since you can do that right as you're running the Elfland, and the Tail.
With a party like this, the Tail is spot on. It's going to give you access to all your gear and all your spells. There's nothing to wait for, so that's fun to see too. I really like the way the seed is shaken out so far. Not necessarily from a utility perspective, it's just gives you all the stuff that these guys want, so they're going to play the way they want to, and I like to see that. As they high five here in Corneria, do you see any edge, or is it completely even so far?
No, right now I'm both just doing a little bit extra shopping with the money they made in Topher. It's 30 seconds maybe, which is essentially nothing.
Yeah, it looks pretty even to me so far too.
It is nice getting that bridge first. You get to go to Provoke to get those level 2 spells instead of having to get all the way to Elfland to have level 3 or 4 spells that you either can't use or you can't afford yet.
Yeah, Drumboardist going to give us a bit of a route divergence. So with no canoe, heading west towards the Dwarf Cave, available through the open progression flag that's been turned on for this tournament, is a dead end. Now, if he finds the canoe in the Dwarf Cave, it becomes not a dead end. But there's only 2 chests here, so this is a bit of an early departure, just a little slight risky play. He's always going to double back one way or the other, but we'll see if he gets anything worthwhile out of it.
If he were to find canoe in there, that would mean the other incentive items would be pushed into be some interesting places.
Yeah. Sforzand0 makes it to Provoca. He's already hit the white magic shop up for exit, which is awesome. And in the black magic shop, he's got some Fire 2 and Brack. And Cure 4, also available at level 2. And Harm 4. The hats are loving it. Red mages, of course, have access to all the level 2 spells. So now he has to get choosy. What does he want on that red mage? And Cure 4 and Exit are hard to pass up. But you only really need 1 caster with Exit. So it's really up to him.
Yeah, and then, it would... If I had the option of trying to Brack something or saving my Cure 4s, I would save the Cure 4, so I don't really see Brack being too useful.
Yeah, maybe Fire 2. It's the worst of all of the AoE damage magics. It can help against undead, but of course Harm 4, so... In the end, it looks like the white spells win the day, and he's going to get the canoe from Bicky. So he's laughing all the way to the bank. Now it's just going to be hunt for the floater from here on.
Nice cheap houses, that's always good to see. Yeah, it looked like Drumboardist did check that Dwarf Cave and didn't like what he saw. He did pick up a katana there and then reset out. I was curious to see if he was going to run that out, because that could be a big chunk of money.
Yeah, I have a hunch that he's going to pop back in later if he wants the money. He probably just wanted to save the time now, but you're right, the katana usually retails for a ton of cash, and that could have helped him with the early game war chest.
So between cheap tents and Ice 3, it shouldn't be too much of an issue to get down to Crescent Lake, and cross your fingers that you get the floater.
Yeah, the message of the week, I guess, is don't forget to check the canoe sage, because a couple people run into some problems here. If you're new to the Final Fantasy Randomizer tournament, one of the other flags, we already talked about it a bit, is the open progression flag. That lets you canoe right through there from the North Water Delta down to Crescent Lake. Completely opens up the initial continent of the game. It's not possible to do that in the NES version, and what that really does is create so many new routing opportunities, and that often means players will pop down here to Crescent Lake to see what the canoe sage has available. He's just going to give you something for nothing, so you got to pop in and say hello.
Yeah, with canoe, it opens up pretty much the entire southern continent when you combine that with the mountains that were moved in your dwarf cave.
Yeah, it's possible to circumnavigate the whole continent, which is pretty cool.
Unless you have the crown and you want to go turn it in, the crystal to get that herb.
Yeah, you can complete the entire Mystic Key quest with just the canoe now. And that gets interesting because, you know, it might be possible that some of those key lock chests are worthwhile, but let's explore this first, because if the canoe sage here gives you the floater, it's going to make that whole job a lot faster.
They had the early warp. The only thing is they don't really have... Well, there's level 6 nuke, so that's not the best place for it.
It's a little high, but it's within reach, you know. You'll get some charges by the end of the game if you want them. Level 7 or 8, yeah, there's the floater. Oh man, we're laughing now. So it's really a go whatever you want, wherever you want, do whatever you want job. Check the incentivized locations, pick up your, got to find your slab somewhere, and so on. But in the meantime, you can do a lot here.
Yeah, pretty much the entire world now is open to them. They can do whatever they want, so I'm sure we'll check Sarda, we'll check the Isles, get our class change, and then we'll have to see if they, you know, who goes where. That might be where this opens up.
We've got warp and exit, so I really like visiting the waterfall as well. Get that incentivized item. The waterfall can be dangerous though, so you got to be careful with that play, but I think he's on the list. Oh, there's the slab. Things are moving right along here. We can route in a trip to Melmond, translate that, see what's available at level 5 magic.
Yes, the last thing you want to see when you make that dangerous walk is Lupa.
Right. And with slab translated, you can go to Lefane at your leisure too. So this seed is really playing itself here. The only thing these players are wondering now is, are they actually ahead? They're doing everything they want. They're going so fast, and yet it's still a very close race.
Yeah, because everything was relatively linear at this point. So, I mean, yeah, you're going fast, but it's not like, you know, you decided to pin a marsh or something silly. So they have to think, okay, if I've got airship already, then odds are, if my opponent doesn't, it's going to real soon, as both of our runners now have their airship.
Yeah, these players have enough respect for each other to note that they've done nothing here to pull ahead. And indeed, they're pretty much a minute apart. So it's going to take more than that for someone to win this. There we go. Level 5, life 2. That's a nice find there. On the black magic side, there's really not much we're looking for here. Temper is still unknown, right?
Yeah, and the thing of it is right now is they don't really have much they can do with Ice Cave. There's so much undead in there, and your only hammer spell really is that Ice 3.
Don't forget about Harm 4, level 2 white.
Harm 4, yeah.
They're packed. They're strapped. I don't think the Ice Cave will pose too much of a threat, except they're so low level. But if you complete the key quest here, then you can route in Elfland and check out your level 3 and 4 spells too. So that seems to be the next trip here. Excellent routing so far by Sforzand0. He hasn't made a false move. I think he's taken the shortest. But he's checked the key door instead of talking to Asta. So
you forgot a few steps.
Yeah, I guess so. Getting a little bit ahead of himself.
Now, I do want to see, before you go back and check if you want to, those Elfland key quest, before you complete this quest, you would really be better suited getting that tail, turning that in, so that when you go back to Corneria and check those 6 chests, you can pick up some stuff on your night. And the same thing for the level 3 spells, if there was anything they wanted in those shops.
Yeah, it also unlocks the 4th spell of level 1 and of level 3. So if you want to, get that for your Red Wizard and your Knight, you can do that too. To think you're completing the key quest at level 7, fully promoted. Look, that might be in his plan too. Funny we should say it, I guess.
That was my dream as a kid. I always hated having to wait so long to get promoted. I would always get that canoe and then say, nope, I'm not going to Volcano like you want me to.
Oh, for sure. So I'm all about when I was a kid, I was all about getting promoted. Nothing has changed. Now I'm just in my 30s and I'm still all about getting promoted.
Oh man, I would have killed for this seed earlier today. This is gonna be a quick one, it looks like.
This is one of those seeds where someone watching for the first time is like, ain't nothing to this game. And then they try to play it. I love it. If you're watching for the first time, yes, Final Fantasy Randomizer is always this easy.
Let me pull the seed I got earlier with Itchbin, and I'll let the newbie play that one.
Okay, so it's easy for us to say, yeah, it's easy, easy, easy. Let's look at what they are doing, even though, because they're both playing the same game, so one of them still has to win, doesn't matter how easy it is. And I like how Sforzand0 has pretty much made the minimum trip everywhere. He's routing in the tail quest so he can get
and there's your sword.
A nice Vorpal, that'll work. Not so great axe. And Drumboardist is just gonna finish off the quest here, but he hasn't done his promotion. So if he finds the gear, he's gonna do that next. But if he finds spells that he wants to learn for the promoted classes, he's gonna have to double back. So here's where one little routing decision becomes another.
And in a seed like this, where everything, is just essentially, not to take anything away from these guys, but it was pretty much given to you. It's those little decisions, a little, 30 seconds here, 45 seconds there, that may end up being what makes or breaks it.
And so far, all that is, that just separates them, is the trip to Cardia for Sforzand0 and the trip to Dwarf Cave for Drumboardist. And we don't know which one was the right move yet. We know that the Dwarf Cave was a bit of a bust. Sforzand0 is going to be able to conveniently route that in with his key quest and stuff.
Zeus Gauntlet, Zeus Gauntlet and Iron Armor. That's all the fighters got so far.
Now, do you, forgetting all the key quest stuff, because it looks like that's a gimme, you're going to make that happen. Do you hit up the waterfall for the incentivized item first? Or the ice cave? And work in like an eye grind or something like that?
I always... If I can avoid a grind, I do, because in my mind, you're taking steps and going nowhere. So the options for me right now is you have the slab, you can translate that, and you could be doing a quote-unquote pop grind because you're fighting the same monsters. You could also be doing ordeals that has zombies and some good experience along the way. And yeah, I would say, Waterfall's also a pretty good option for experience. So I would kind of get all those quests out of the way rather than go somewhere with intent to grind.
Right on. Yeah, I think the trip to Lefane is a nice one because there's some undead in there that you can harm for. There's some other things that I think it's a little bit gentler than the waterfall, which can be pretty ruthless. In both cases, roughly even money. We've seen so little of the enemies in this seed, we have no idea what's dangerous. There's been hardly a shot fired, really.
Yeah, definitely of the three, I would do the waterfall last. I would probably go do the translate the slab, not to translate the slab, but get the chime first, just because you can save whenever you want, reset whenever you want, it's fine. Get a couple levels, that'll get you a little bit more prepared for deals where you have to go through without those save items.
There's a beauty, level 4 Fade. Man, can you ask for anything more here? Pretty much buff gifts. We got some Bane at level 4 on the black side. Not too exciting. We haven't found the vendor item unless Sforzand0 is about to buy it right now.
Nope.
No, not yet.
I think all they're missing really that they would really put on a wish list would be fast. Or have they gotten invisible too? Also, that's another one that I think I don't know that I've seen yet.
Yeah, Fog 2 will serve as a replacement if it has to. Yeah, and on the vendor side, I think we just need the rod and the bottle. Really, there's not a lot.
Oh, chat pointing out Cube was in Provoca as the vendor item.
Oh, thank you, chat.
And there's a knight. Oh, gold bracelets and pearl ring. Oh, insane place.
It's all too easy tonight, isn't it? All too easy. They're just waiting for the second shoe to drop at this point. What could possibly go wrong now?
Just walking down the street, trip over that Masamune.
Yeah, seriously. Dr. Run's just gonna find you and ask for directions and oh, by the way, here's how you speak late finish.
I always like how they're supposed to be in a super advanced civilization, yet their entire language can be deciphered with a tiny little stone tablet.
Only by a genius like Dr. Hoon. The rest of us would be totally confused. They didn't even know it was a linguistic teaching device.
And Sforzand0 now checking out the magic he can pick up with his promoted classes. And Drumboardist just a little bit behind him, following in footsteps, checking out Cardi Isles.
Yeah, I think through this this stuff, which has almost played itself, Sforzand0 has carved out a slim lead. But what's really going to matter is what happens next. Where do they go to mitigate their risk, keep their chances of wiping down, allow themselves to gain some levels while doing some of the progression. And that's going to come down to, you know,
first say nope.
Yeah, as they so often do.
Like I was saying before, you have the promotion, you have a little bit of gear. I don't know that level 6 level 6 ordeals is gonna happen.
Yeah, it's asking for trouble, that's for sure.
But
Nevertheless,
both of them are
yeah, so all those time advantages, if they have everything they want, have shaken out, and they're basically high-fiving again.
You know, I've never talked to the guy to make him go away. I always walk around him.
I ain't got time to talk to him. He's nothing but bad news, that guy.
Light warriors are kind of mean. Just an old man. I just want to talk.
They're not mean, they're busy. They got crap to get done, man. Get out of the way.
Gargoyles, I always don't like. That's one of the ones I don't like here, because if they rolled something nasty, you see 6, 8, 9 of them at once.
Yeah, we had some ugly ambushing, nuking geists earlier today. That's the worst. It's when someone rolls something nasty, rolls an ambush formation, and there happen to be plentiful. That's like the trifecta.
See, this Medusa fight I would have maybe taken, because at level 6 that would have been at least probably a level. And unless the Drumboardist is a little bit lost, because he's back to where he was.
Now, we shuffled the ordeals pillars, so they don't take you where they normally take you, and it takes a little bit of memory to be able to say, hey, have I been in this room before? Because with Charges of Warp, then you can go back to where you were, and you can sort of force your way through here and never seeing the same room twice. Looks like he's almost done.
Not even taking the zombie fight either.
Yeah, see with the harm 4s. I can't see none of that, no? There. Oh boy.
Okay, I don't blame him.
And that'll do it.
For taking the zombie fight.
He's gonna give it another whirl, though.
Though at that point I probably would have, rather than just throw the harm 4s out and pray it kills them rather than try and run and fail.
Yeah, I like the 2 harm 4s and 2 runs. Hopefully something gets the job done in fights like that.
And Sforzand0 taking the single zombie. Let's see if he gets to see what that they rolled Blizzard.
Oh, they rolled around 300 something HP, but he takes one out. Drumboardist is through to the nightmare fight. They're hitting pretty nasty for nightmares. It's gonna give him nightmares if he can't get out of here. Oh, he's lost his life. Oh, and I don't think he managed to get any. Well, of course he doesn't have any charges for his knight because he's nowhere near level 15.
That flame armor is much more important than it usually is. Maybe that might, and a gold bracelet, that might actually get him through.
27 large is a nice find at this point in the game, too. If he can get out of here. it's all going to be worthwhile. Armor, that'll help his Black Mage too. All of a sudden, his Black Mage is into a better tank than his Knight was a minute ago.
Mummies.
Fire 2 probably would have thinned this herd, but he just tries to double run.
Yeah, I'm curious what his plan is going to be to get levels later if he's not willing to take even the good fights now.
Yeah, he should have taken this one because, like I said, the Fire 2 is going to help him out here, and then all he has is one. Oh boy. This could get ugly. But he gets the crit and he gets it done, okay? Hopefully he's got some heals to help work his way through here. Sforzand0 is going to level this party. Wiz Mummy's good experience. Regular Mummy's pretty easy to kill. This is a good fight to take.
Unless they roll crack.
If you're just joining us, this has been the most gimme seed ever so far. Everything handed to our players right off the bat. That's why they're in ordeals at like level 7 with a promoted party. Because they finally had to work for themselves now and make some decisions about what to do next. So, to take nothing away from them that hasn't already been given to them, this is where the game gets challenging. It's sort of like, what do I do now with this super low party scenario? And they both hit ordeals, and it looks like they're both going to make it through. Sforzand0 is out the other side with the loot. Drumboardist has it in his hands. He's got one more fight to go to get out of here.
And the red Anglos are going to eat Sforzand0.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Oh.
That's bad news.
Okay. I was wondering if you forgot to save outside.
Well, he knows the loot is there, and he knows he needs it, so he'll have to come back for it at some point, but he doesn't want to do it right now.
Yeah, because most people have been shooting for upper teens, lower 20s, depending on how bad the Fiends Revisited and Chaos decide to be. So you need the levels and the gear. And right now, they don't really have much of either. I mean, they have the Vorpal and the Knight, they have Flame Armor.
Yeah. In that situation, I'm not even sure it was the levels or the gear. I think the mistake was showing up at ordeals without a stack of heal potions. And it really cost him because he didn't have the ability to keep himself sustained on the top floor.
See, and this is what I was saying earlier with grinding, is Drumboardist is looking for those peats. But he could have had the same experience while he was running through. And then I always try to catch, and usually admits that when I finish the stage, I try to check out my step counter, and that's kind of my personal way of checking how efficient was I in the seed.
Yeah, it looks like he's not going to let that happen again. He's going to gain a few levels here. Sforzand0's off to check out Ice. So he's picked up the loot now. So the only things he's really missing now are the rod and the bottle would be big ones to look for. And I don't think he's purchased the cube, but we know from chat that it's for sale in Provoca.
Yeah, that is one thing about going and doing the getting the chime, is I do understand not doing it until you have that bottle so that you can route on rack in with it. At the same time, you had to go right south of there to go to Mirage anyway. They just definitely, I think, need to find a way to progress and get some levels.
Sforzand0 replenishing his heals, picked up some more saving arrangements. Drumboardist got some spare cash now. He's going to stock up on gold bracelets, maybe pick up some pro rings too. And now back to the ice cave for Sforzand0.
Looks like he may have found a pretty decent run in the encounter table after a power cycle. Looks like you take 1 or 2 steps, take one encounter, and now he's already almost at the he's halfway through the second floor of Ice Cave before that second encounter.
Yeah, that's definitely a big run. We do have unrunnable images and wraiths. They've been known to cause problems in the past. We'll see how it goes tonight. So far, not too bad.
Fire 3, harm 4, unless they get something off nasty on the first turn, they won't live long enough to do anything nasty.
It doesn't look like they have ambushing potential, so... They can't, pardon me, because they're unrunnable, but I don't see any ugly skills there.
I'm doing the same thing with that, all that money he's got now, getting supplied up.
Are you interested in full clearing ice here because you got no gear, or do you just use the warp trick to check the incentivized chest and then get out?
Since you have warp, I would find some more treasure-dense places rather than digging ice.
Part of me says you're already halfway through it, and there are some, but the other part of me says check the incentivized chest and get out. I will see what he does.
Based on what they've seen so far, nothing has been too nasty, so I wouldn't think it's the worst idea to keep going. You got 8 chests on the level below, and then the 5 of them the first level.
Yeah.
And with a Vorpal on the night, if he could take a poke at the eye, if he goes around the full way, and maybe get his levels there.
Well, there's the bottle. It's one of the things we needed. The only question mark remaining is the rod that we know we need.
So that should be the waterfall item then from our friendly robot.
It certainly should. The only other incentivized item outside of the plot items was the tail, and we've already found it.
And he's opting to leave that one Frost Wolf chest.
Yeah, I think this is a situation where he probably doesn't think he has much of a lead. We know he's got one because of Drumboardist's tragic wipe, but he might just have done that to literally avoid any risk. He's like, I gotta play my cards close to my chest here. I can't give up a minute on some unlucky, fluky thing. Probably nothing important that I don't need in there, so let it go.
Yeah, like I said, it's very tempting to just do warp trick and get out with that bottle. So you can already feel like you're making a gamble just doing the chest that you're doing.
Exactly. You can be 99% sure that there's going to be nothing here you need, quote unquote. There could be a mass moon, there could be a couple of ribbons, who knows? But do you need all these things? Debatable.
But it does look like he's clearing everything else. I would not be surprised if he is going to give that eye a little bit of a poke and see how, if he rolled low HP and nothing nasty, get those levels he needs there.
Or not. He's out of there. Drumboardist has gone for a bit of a divergence here. He's going to head into the volcano, clear that out, gain some levels. I presume this is a one-stop shop for him because I don't think he's going to want to waste time double dipping, so I think he's going to do a grind and then take out carry at the end if it all goes according to plan.
Yeah, a lot of times I like going through, and there's a ribbon on the first floor of the volcano.
That can certainly help.
I'll go through first level volcano and just blow all of my spell charges, exit out, warp out, whatever, house up, and then dip back in. That way I can get some experience, especially with the position he's in of needing those levels.
Yeah, the volcano's a great place to do that. If you've got warp or exit to clear out the armory and then, use all your charges to make it easy and then warp out, because the first 2 floors of volcano you can blow through really quickly, so you don't lose a lot of time by doing that. With all the lava tiles on the ground, they don't trigger encounters, so they allow you to scamper through without wasting a lot of time.
Especially if you've noticed that big gap in the encounter table between that and the lava tiles, you could probably get down 3-4 levels before you see your first encounter. Grey rooms with lit 2.
Sforzand0 looks like he's going to do the abridged version of Volcano. He's already skipped the chest in the upper right corner of the armory. We'll see if he runs up and grabs that ribbon, or if that's on his list of chests to skip. He still doesn't have...
Ooh, armory is packing.
What do we got? I missed it, I'm afraid.
Defense and a power bonk and a pro cape.
Well, you can be sure he's going to get all of that. Now the question is, does he turn north and grab the ribbon, or is he going to let that one slide? Because if he does skip that, that's at least a little bit of an advantage for Drumboardist, who has thus far been on the wrong side of most of the breaks.
Well, he's already down the armory, I would imagine he would have turned north before doing the armory, so we'll see.
See, right there, he just used a ton of heals. How about a couple of Cure 4s and exit in a house, you know?
Yeah, with Cure 4 being so low, being so close to the beginning of the dungeon, that's just a lot of time just using the items.
And then you got to rebuy them. It's time, it's money. I really like the Cure 4 and house, because if he's got one, I'm assuming. If he doesn't have one, well, that explains it. Oh, Drumboardist hits a bit of luck as he gets door blocked by some lady in Crescent Lake. But he's got some nuke charges now.
It's normally the bats that are problems.
Those ambling townsfolk, they have no idea of the plight of the common light warrior. They're just on their Sunday business. Alright, he's back to Volcano.
Do you not want me to stop the erupting volcano? Because I cannot stop it if you don't want me to.
Oh, Sforzand0 does journey north. Picks up the ribbon. And he'll be happy he made that snap decision.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll skip those the 2 chests up and right that Sforzand0 looks like he's going for now.
Alright, you got a Vorpal Sword, you got a Power Bonk, you got 1 ribbon. You have at least the Flame Armor. We're getting real close to honest-to-goodness go mode here, aren't we? Like,
yeah, I would really like to see that white shirt, but again, there was a low-level fog too that can kinda take that place. But depending on how things rolled in Topher, I mean, it certainly is doable right now. Do they just need to figure out how high they want to level and how much of a margin they want to give themselves?
I can't imagine either of them is going to waste a lot of time checking chests. Drumboardist because he knows he needs to catch up, and Sforzand0 because he knows he's trying to carve out that slim lead. The other school of thought is, if you're Drumboardist, well, I'm behind, and I'm always going to be behind now because I wiped. Should I take the extra time to make sure my party is strong so that if Sforzand0 runs into trouble in Topher and wipes 2 times in a row, 2-3 times in a row on maybe a hard team at 2, who knows what, I can get through there on my first try and do the comeback. Like, do you engage that strategy, or do you stick with trying to do things lean and fast?
Personally, I don't really try to metagame too much. Like, what is my other person going to do? I just, you know, I've run the practice seeds. I know what works for me, and just stick to the program because I know that the other player is dealing with the exact same thing I'm dealing with.
Okay. No, it's good insight. I get too caught up in calling all these races. I have trouble getting in the head of someone playing them in a tight race at a high level like this. So that's a good insight.
I mean, I could definitely see if he does take another wipe, or you know, and he really starts to feel behind, going, all right, I've only found, you know, Vorpal's pretty good, but you know, if I happen to find a Massive Moon, that's gonna all of a sudden really benefit me. But 1 wipe, meh.
And let's be
I'd
real.
let it go. Oh, there we go.
That's a nice find. So Drumboardist picks up the Adamant and the ship, you know, just to say he's got one, because what kind of light warrior doesn't have an ocean-going vessel? The bottom line is they're high-fiving here in Volcano. They both have the same number of orbs lit, which is none. And the slim lead that Sforzand0 has is the fact that he has cleared out ice and picked up the bottle, and cleared out ordeals and picked up the loot. So he's got 2, like, incentivized minor dungeons ahead, but no extra orbs lit.
And if Drumboardist can pick up some levels in gear, neither one of those is that long of a dungeon. You know, you have warp, so you can warp trick in ice, and then you have warp to get through the pillars in ordeals. Those can both be, you know, punched out pretty quickly. So it is a lead, but it's if Drumboardist plays his cards right, it's not an insurmountable lead. Not yet.
Yeah, and he even knows the ordeals route. I don't know if he memorized it or wrote it down, but you don't even need the warp trick if you actually just remember which pillars to go. So it'll be fast when he does get around to redoing it.
used to not write it down, then I spent 10 minutes in that damn place without warp, and I could not for the life of me figure it out. Now I write it down.
Yeah, there's not too much to write down to make it worthwhile. Alright. In the floor that seems like it goes on forever, because I keep watching both people do it. Drumboardist has got to the Agama room. Sforzand0 has now reached the Agama room. And they're high-fiving once again here in Volcano as they clear out the last of the Volcano chests, barring the Red Dragon chests on the last floor. To recap so far, it has been a fairly gimme seed, with everything being handed out early. The crown came early, the canoe, then the floater from the canoe stage. Both runners had the airship very quickly. Sarda dealt out, I believe, the slab. And then in Ordeals, Sforzand0 picked up the loot, and in Ice he picked up the bottle. Drumboardist unfortunately wiped in Ordeals and never made it to the Ice Cave, so Sforzand0's lead is that he has the loot and the bottle, where Drumboardist does not. Otherwise, now they're both in Volcano getting ready to take on their first feed.
I wouldn't say this is a gimme. I mean, they got decent gear, but they're still low levels. If Gary has anything nasty on round 1...
I mostly mean it was a gimme in that the opening was so friendly. It just handed you all the things you could want, and including magic, which has life 2, and exit at level 2, and fade at level 4, ice 3 at level 1 for the black mages, and warp at level 1. Like, a lot of great spells early.
I like that he just gonna try Quad X, and done quite a bit of damage with fades and whatnot. Odds are she's under. Yep, there you go.
There it is. 60% of the time, it works every time. Quad X is a unique spell among many spells. In this game, there are 3 spells like it that automatically work if the enemy has less than 300 health, but Quad X is the good one, because it kills an enemy with less than 300 health, unless they are resistant to death.
Which I found out, because I tried to Quad X Lich, it didn't work. My knight hit for 37 and killed him. Oh.
Yeah. The death resist will still shut the door on it. In fact, death resist guarantees that it does not work. Every other instant death spell will work 3 out of 256 times, but Quad X will not work at all if they have more than 300 health or death resistance.
Yeah, and that's where I really like throwing out, because you know she can't have too much hit points. You have a couple of fades. Throw those out first round, and then just test the waters with that Quad X. If not, one more round, and Quad X would almost certainly work.
Sforzand0 finally pays the dwarves a visit here. He's already got the Mystic Key and the Adamant, so he's just going to clean them out of house and home. Picks up his Excalibur sword and loots the treasure trove down below, which has nothing. Just some chump change, and on the top floor, or the upper part there was a katana that he can probably liquidate for 5-figure sum or so.
I do love the new lazy dwarves. Every now and then I get up Adamant being in the lower chest.
There you go. The legendary Adamant. And
you find the super rare Adamant, it's like 3 blocks that way.
Meanwhile, Drumboardist gonna say hello to Carrie with his much higher level party now than before. Looking to light his first orb.
Looks like he burned most of his offensive magic, though.
It also looks like he didn't bring a party in here at full health.
I didn't catch all the chests, but I didn't see much to write home about in the Corneria lock the chests either.
He lands a fade for 80 damage, which is the least it can possibly do. So his string of bad luck seems to be continuing here.
And Sforzand0 is continuing his excellent routing. He popped the bottle, and now he's going to go talk to the Oompa Loompas. Get some delicious steak.
Ooh, an nasty blizzard from Carrie is going to make this closer than he would really like it to be here. We know Carrie doesn't have too much health.
Yeah, but 3 hits for 49 also is not going to do it. Yeah, Sforzand0 had such an easy time because he brought in 4 or 5 fade charges. I think Drumboardist only came in with maybe 2, and one of them rolled poorly.
Yeah, he's just been clawing and scratching, and down goes Carrie, so thank goodness for that. He's going to breathe a sigh of relief as he gets out of there with his volcano victory.
Sforzand0 found the Blizzard Zombles and ran from the 4-pack. Normally, you love seeing those 4-packs.
He doesn't want anything to do with Zombles anymore.
I thought Drumboardist was about to do Ice Cave.
Boy, that long stretch at the beginning of the encounter table sure is balanced by this string of nasty fights back to back to back to back. But he makes it to Lefane, and we'll see what the Lefanian Elder down here has in exchange. Of course, it's the Chime, because we're not shuffling the fetch quests, and that will allow him access to Marsh Cave. Mirage Tower, excuse me.
I was about to say, you've been playing too much of the entrance shuffle, haven't you?
No, I'm just getting tired or something. It started with an M, you know? Nobody's perfect. Alright, Drumboardist is going to pop into ice. We'll see if he does the short version where he just grabs the incentive chest and gets out, or if he's going to clear the whole thing too.
I'm surprised Sforzand0 isn't... Well, looks like it may have had a little bit of a better time getting up there, but with that long gap in the beginning of the table, it's really easy. As soon as you take that second fight after the hero run, you save your power cycle, one fight, and then you got another hero run. You probably make it with just one power cycle in the middle all the way to Lefane and back.
Sforzand0 even picking up his level 7 spells. Optimistic and thorough here as he cruises through Gaia.
If it ends up being something like a fast, or something you don't need too many charges of, and you can still pay to have those, even those higher level spells.
Yeah, there was it was life in the case of the white magic, which can be useful if you say run out of charges of life too, because of a particularly ugly Topher or something like that. You never know.
Yeah, or you just want to conserve until you're deeper. With Cure 4, it's one extra spell to get them, you know, up and back to full. And with nothing but a wash stop at the waterfall, Sforzand0's looking pretty good to just go emote it. Wouldn't expect him to check too many chests along the way, maybe some of the convenient ones.
Yeah, he knows the waterfall's liable to have the rod he needs. So some would just check it now so they were 100% sure. But he's not going to do that. He's going to work the route in here because the Mirage Tower is on the way. And the first couple floors of it are pretty resplendent with chests. So I think he's going to clean out at least a few of them, look for another ribbon, maybe some dragon armor.
Yeah, like I said, they're still a little lacking in level, so this could be a good chance to get some levels, and instead of walking back and forth grinding somewhere, you could pick up some chests, maybe find something a little useful.
Yeah, a little low is an understatement. He just made level 14. If vampires here are a great source of EXP. Drumboardist, on the other hand, as we look back in Ice Cave, is going to attempt to clear the whole thing out. We'll see if he stumbles into that trap tile with the wolves, or if he too plays it safe. Doesn't look like it because he didn't approach it from the bottom, and yeah, he takes the fight.
Oh, his party's not looking good though.
You see, I'm wondering if he's doing a bit of a two-man grind here, because he's got life too, so if he wanted them alive, I feel like he would bring them back.
And white shirt is in first level of Mirage Tower. That would be like, I feel like the last thing I would really want in my, if I was in these guys' shoes.
And indeed, he's going to exit out here, go right back in, pop up to the second floor. Since he checked the first floor, he's got the less than, greater than chests here on the second floor. They're pretty tempting because they are just right there, and there's a whole heap of them.
I guess he only has one ribbon. I guess you could still argue that you want to dig for at least one more ribbon so you can have one on a mage and one on your fighter. So I don't believe I've seen... I didn't write it down. I don't know if they have access to wall. Question in chat, Evil Bobby. So for the Swiss rounds, it's going to be the same flag set. Once we get to the bracket stage, we will have some different flags set.
Yeah, the brackets stage, aka the playoffs, are reduced to the top 16 that emerge from the Swiss stage, and the flags are going to be dialed up to be a little bit less friendly. And I know the enemy scaling, for example, will go up a bit, so you can get some very trolly enemies, and I think some of the other numbers get played with a little bit, but it will not be a dramatically different game. It's still going to be an NPC shuffle with exactly the same sort of goal and focus, but yeah, it will change a little bit from the Swiss to the bracket stage.
I really did enjoy the league where it had different end goals or ways to play, so to speak.
Yeah, it was.
White Mage's Lich was... I loved that round. There's 4 white mages, and unless you got Fade, good luck with your hammers. So we're starting to find the wizard staff and making room for it.
It's worth $1, unless he wants to try to confuse somebody. The only person he's confused so far is you and me, and maybe some of the people watching.
Gives the white mage something to do?
Go for the quick kill on the no dice. Blue D's got more than 300 health.
Not much more.
Yeah. Maybe just death resist. I didn't think so.
And he liked what he saw, so he's going to take a few more. And this is good since walking down into that that doorway does not increase your step counter. He's only going to take 2.
Just a little sampler, yeah. Yeah, a nice little safe grind there, just a little EXP, but keeping his foot firmly on the gas pedal. I don't think he has much intention of slowing down, creating any openings. Just going to go.
That is something I like doing if I do find a trap tile that is, for whatever reason, enticing. Use a couple of charges, get a little bit of experience, but don't sit there for, 10 minutes fighting the same thing.
Yeah, he's got Warp here, and Warp is a great spell for when you want to clear out the Sky Castle and pick up as many chests as you can. Oh, and it pays off as he finds the elusive second ribbon.
I would be shocked if he checks anything except for the freebie chests from this point on. I think he has pretty much everything you could hope for.
Yeah, he's pretty stacked now. Oh, he could have warped back to the center, but then again, walking to the top, as you say, it's just about the same as if he was going to warp. If he was going to check the room on the right, I could see a warp. But he's not going to. He's done.
You figure that's also... every time you use that warp, it's going to be a nice 3 charge. You probably want to conserve that for later on. But short of a 3rd ribbon, there's nothing else you could want. So I'm sure that it's going to be
Go Mode's
go.
Yeah, Go Mode's guy's a pretty quick dungeon. Oh, he's going to check this room too. He's just got like a hunch or something. The room on the right has more chests than this one. But now he is going to use the warp strats to clean it out.
He's still digging hard. He looks like he's targeting those chest dense rooms. Some of those rooms in the previous floors only have 1 or 2 for quite a bit of a walk. These have 4 and 6 in each.
Yeah, Sforzand0's a champion of the statistical methods. He's done so many regression tests in the past where he's run the numbers on so many seeds to see where things can be and so on. So if anyone has like calculated the quickest, densest chests to check, it's this guy. So I bet that there's a method to this madness, and he'll probably explain it to us post-race.
Yeah, I'll be curious to ask him because, I mean, short of a 3rd ribbon, and obviously a Masamune, I don't know what else you could ask for unless he's looking for some experience, and you may as well check some chests while you're getting that experience.
Busts out a Fire 3 against the Man-Cats, but that's not going to do much. Now, Fade, on the other hand, seemed to crit them all for double damage and clears them out. Good EXP from that big fight there.
Bit of an upgrade with that Opal Shield.
Yeah, he's got a ribbon on his fighter, so he doesn't really care if it's the Opal Shield or the Aegis Shield. He doesn't really care. Yep.
Best sword.
The meme sword. Or is that... I'm having trouble keeping up with the meta. Is that still the meme sword?
It is in my heart.
There's the Opal armor. There we go. He's now basically got a perfectly kitted knight, because owing to the ribbon, he doesn't really need resistances from his armor or shield, and the Opal armor and Opal shield have exactly the same absorb as the Dragon armor and Aegis shield, so he's good.
Oh, but he did it wrong. He went up then right. Up then left? Madness.
Madness.
Alright, well, bless RNGs, this is where I found the War Mech earlier with Cure 4. Drumboardist digging just like Sforzand0 did, so he's likely to find most of what Sforzand0 did, depending on how much digging he does on those the radial rooms.
Alright, the Bridge of Destiny. Oh, there's the War Mech. Oh, it's runnable, but is he gonna run it?
Oh,
no.
Nope.
He's digging in. I love it. This is exactly the kind of foolhardy stuff that can cost him, and I love it.
Oh, I dug in and then I saw Cure 4 and noped out. It is good to see, though, because now, you know, if he has a nuclear or something crazy, at least you know that's out of the pool once you get in the Topher. So, I mean, if nothing else, you can get some information out of it.
Yeah. He's got life 2 on, of course, the White Wizard. He's got to be careful here because that White Wizard could get jackhammered by this indomitable War Mech. But
yeah,
he's not giving up yet.
Over 200. Uh-oh.
Oh boy! Oh boy, that's not good. It's time to get out of here. And he wipes. Oh, that's so classic. How can a run that goes perfect go wrong? When you take on a War Mech.
You know, and it's it's a calculated risk. You know, maybe it rolled low. You've been running with low levels this entire time, and that one fight could have fixed that.
Yeah, or he could have crushed it and gotten like 4 levels. And now he's opened up a little bit of a door for Drumboardist to catch up a bit. But let's not hand anything over just yet. He still has the loot and the bottle, and Drumboardist has the bottle now. He still has the loot.
And Sforzand0 also, if he remembers, can just pick and choose which chests he needs to go check now.
Oh, sure. Yeah, he doesn't have to redo the entire thing by any means. Just go grab that ribbon.
But if he doesn't get the Bane Sword...
See how much he cares about the Opal Shield and the Opal armor the second time around.
The Sentry Flight I sometimes take, that's a good... I mean, they hit hard, but it's a good chunk of experience.
And now all of a sudden, boy, you're just going to be a little bit tilted because the wheels come off. The psychology all of a sudden comes in here. You can't just say, oh, I'm just going to play my game and do my thing, because that's what you did the first time, and then you suffered a cruel, cruel wipe to a war mech. So now you got to go out with a bit of fire and fix it.
So I'm surprised because I don't think Sforzand0 remembered what was where, because that greater than less than room didn't really have much, but he still took the time to go check them.
Yeah, I don't think he had any intentions of wiping. And so now he's like, ah, crud, where was all that stuff? So he must remember where the ribbon is, because even I remember where the ribbon is.
Yeah. Yeah, the ribbon and, yeah, maybe the opal stuff on the floor above.
Yeah. All right, Drumboardist on the Bridge of Destiny. We'll see how it treats him.
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to the encounters to see if it doesn't always, obviously not in the same place because the first was Airs, but
can't say no to the eye. That's just pretty much free EXP.
Oh man, I hate seeing that Mudgall because it's the same kind of color of war mech. It's in the same position. You get a little okay. Whew.
Well, he's made it through. So he's right to Tiamat, and it's time for him to take on the King of Dragons, or whatever Tiamat exactly is.
The Queen of Dragons, if memory serves.
Yeah.
Bane sword strats, best strats.
Not today yet, but out comes the Invis too. He also popped a defense sword, so that knight should be... Oh, pardon me, he popped a power gauntlet. Doesn't look like he's taking any chances here. Lays on another Invis too, another power gauntlet.
Still 2 hits for 100, and it's...
Yeah. It's a pretty tough Tiamat. I think after this round, you're gonna see him come out swinging. He might be over pretty quick at that point.
Come on, Bane, I believe in you.
Still no nuke charges.
Sforzand0 is going back for all that opal stuff.
3 hits for 287 on Tiamat, starting to crack that outer shell.
Ooh, not that. Must have rolled super low.
Yeah, it was over pretty quick. Alright, Drumboardist lights his air orb, and he's halfway through his first 4 orbs. He clears out ordeals quick, and we're pretty much back to a tie game.
Sforzand0's going to be super salty when he sees how low Tiamat rolled. No, you were that close.
And there's the opal. He just discards his previous armor in disgust, just casts it aside.
Drumboardist going back. I'm not sure what he's trying to do though.
Yeah, this one's a bit of a mystery.
Unless he's gonna go check those radio rooms and try to get some experience while doing it. But if you've got Sea Shrine to go, I'd rather be in an area I haven't done yet.
Yeah, the lovely ladies of the Sea Shrine are sitting on a hoard of treasure if you're still interested. I'm not sure what's the point here. Maybe a Blue D grind comes to mind.
Yeah, that's if it's not that, then I guess we'll see in a moment.
Sforzand0 meets the waste of time police, and then gets in another battle in a sync. This is the kind of thing that happens after you wipe. You fight 7 of one thing and then 6 of another, and they both ambush you, and they both waste all your time.
Oh, and they have X-Fire, great, or X-Fire, as I might say. Yeah, that's how it goes. Hey, I'm gonna heal my entire 9-person party. But that one wipe could put that little nugget in his head and maybe he pushes a little too hard.
Sforzand0 running once again with the Mud Goals and Sorcerers. This time he's gonna throw a fade in with all the runs. Show them who's boss. Here it is. And just sort of casually execute all these pesky sorcerers.
This is for your death touch and vanilla.
Yeah, they can never be punished enough for that.
I do remember going, wow, these guys are wimpy.
And then just drop dead.
Hit me for 3! What?
Slain. Slain. Slain.
Yeah,
Terrifying.
Drumboardist is gonna, looks like he's gonna just keep digging in up here in Sky Castle.
I guess his plan was shoot first and loot questions later.
Paid off with a ribbon, so I mean...
No, unexpected, but works for him. He can get out at any time with his exit, so I guess he just prefers the chest density here to Sky Sea Shrine.
I mean, that and the encounters do give you more experience. He is bypassing. I guess he's gonna hit the same chests that Sforzand0 hit on the way up as he was going. There was 4 and 6 chest rooms.
Yeah, he's got to have the 6 chest room in mind if he's going all the way to this floor. It's the biggest hall there is.
Alright, Sforzand0, if you still had that wizard staff.
What is
yeah. Ormec grind?
I don't know. I don't
If that's
know.
what he's doing, I love him. I love every little bit of it.
I didn't even know that that was a thing that people attempted to do. I'm still not sure it is. Well, if it is what he's trying to do, he's going to get horribly murdered by that awful Ormec. Sforzand0 lights his air orb. He's off to the show. He's not messing around. I think he's headed to the last place that he is yet to be.
Something in there, heads don't touch.
Picking up Nuke.
And heal 3 also are all really nice. Hold on, if you light the orb and then go back, does it do the little shaky animation? Did he forget to light the orb or something?
That must have been what that was. Did it do the animation again? Did he just
Yeah,
kill
it's a
Team Up
little-
and cast exit? Okay. Well, that
Yeah,
solves that mystery. But
Huh.
well, we've seen it all now. Forgetting to talk to the Canoe Sage, forgetting to buy heal potions, and now forgetting to light the orb after defeating the Fiend. That takes the cake, but good on him for going, wait a minute, did I just cast exit? Because I didn't notice.
Oh, no, I would have been a toast for going, let me in.
Yeah. He indeed, he must have cast exit. He must have opened up his menu and saw that it wasn't lit or something and been like, ah, you kidding? So unfortunately, there goes the advantage he gained. He has to cough it back up, diving the dungeon himself again. But he's going to clear ordeals now, and it's going to come down to a pretty close race after this.
I mean, although you do look at it, Sforzand0 essentially did the same thing. He was on the Bridge of Destiny and wiped, and he came out with nothing, whereas Drumboardist at least came out with the experience from the first trip through.
And on the second trip through, somehow managed to find a ribbon. So at least he got that too.
So yeah, I mean, he's probably not winning right now, but again, he's got 2 quick dungeons. It's not out of the realm of possibility for him to make that up.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of opportunity if Topher is in any way trolly after all this, for him to get some of that time back. We just need another wipe by Sforzand0 in any capacity, and we're back on.
Yep. Now, much higher level, much better gear, and a knowledge of what the pillars were. He's through the maze that quickly.
I don't think he needs much of anything here. He can really just snag the loot and exit.
He's got the pro cape.
Yeah, Pro Cape's good stuff. Can't say no to 8 Absorb. It's like the only respectable armor in the game that all of the mages can equip. When I say armor, I mean to say shield.
Where are the shields on my back?
Yeah, it's a fashion statement more than an actual shield, but it works. And we got an out of bounds pad. That's nice.
I love them. Yeah, they're mages. They usually spend their time cowering, you know, like Edward. They're back.
I'm sure he had a lovely cape. I mean, at least it's a pro cape. It's like an amateur cape. And
I am kind of interested in that the Final Fantasy IV free enterprise, but I just know the first time I play it, I'm going to start with Edward.
Yeah. Alright, now he's out of ordeals. This time he's got the loot. As soon as he routes in a trip to Waterfall, we'll say he's back on exactly the same route as Sforzand0. Just a few minutes behind.
And it's I know you do some development with quite a bit of development with the Randomizer. Let's start moving that robot around.
The joke was we were actually going to move around Dr. Un. The idea was call it Where in the World is Carmen Dr. Undo, and he could just be anywhere. We were thinking of putting him in the room with the bats, you know, putting him in Sarda's like cellar there where he's got all the empty bottles, just having him dancing around. You find that guy. I don't know why we were going to do this, but I think this is something I want to do. Aha! Invis 2 finally crops up. It's level 7 white magic, so will you get a charge? Maybe not in this seed.
Yeah, I mean, they're still not horribly over-leveled, that's just for sure.
It is fair to say that they are not horribly over-leveled.
Back to the robot, either move him around, or you know what? You know, you talk to Astos, he gives you the crystal, then you fight him. Maybe that robot has been a war mech all this time. Certainly liven up the waterfall.
As we kick past 70 minutes, let's give a shout out here to our runners. Sforzand0 on the left, Drumboardist on the right. They could use your follows and adoration. They put on great shows for the fans, for us, all the viewers, and they've given us a lot of entertainment tonight. So please reach out, follow them. My fellow commentator, Demon Frog 1983. We just met and did our first commentary live right now, and it's been a pleasure working with you, Demon Frog. So follow that guy. I am Nits__ on Twitch, but you can just call me Nits. And our restreamer tonight is Norestra, who is streaming for Randomania Channel 3, the whole Randomania family. Randomania 2, 3, 4, great friends of the Final Fantasy Randomizer community and partners in this Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament. And finally, Wout is our tracker tonight, and he's doing a bang-up job keeping me honest. And so show him your love and support. Give him a follow, too.
And with how fast they were getting items in this seed, it must have been difficult to keep up with all it.
Right at the beginning, it was coming thick and strong. And he does inform me that the only NPC we haven't seen much of so far is Poor Dirk, and I don't think we're gonna, because we just don't need that Canal TNT or nothing. Poor guy's gonna be left literally in the dark.
He was so popular in previous versions of the Randomizer.
And once you start shuffling the NPC rewards, which I believe they may do in the bracket, all of a sudden the NPCs aren't even going to give you, not even the fetch quest NPCs are going to give you what you expect. So all of a sudden Eric becomes your boy again, because once you got his TNT, you have no idea what he's got. You got to check it out. So we'll light up that sprite once again, I promise you.
I believe one of the showcase runs, they handed the TNT in for the power bonk. And the joke was he just wrapped the TNT around a silver gauntlet and handed it back to you.
Beautiful. Yeah, here you go. All right, and with Drumboardist following Sforzand0 into Sea Shrine, we can now see that they are quite close, in fact. Neither one of them looks like they're going to spend much time chest checking. Drumboardist probably knows he's playing catch-up. Sforzand0 probably knows since everything has gone so well, there's a chance he's in the lead. And if not, it's a tight race, and he's not going to waste any time either. And that's exactly what's going on. He's just in the Sharknado room, so-called, because of a trap tile. And he's out of there, so he will be on Kraken's floor momentarily. Drumboardist still has several floors to clear, but is probably going to be sprinting right through them.
But you have to take this big eye fight.
The EX Pinata, Edgeworth is known to say, a term I've picked up for myself. They are just jammed full of luxury EXP.
Yeah, so now it's going to turn into, since they're what, maybe 30 seconds behind, is, you know, you're low level, you're going to have to really squeak by on Topher to come down and serving those charges. And really seeing, you know, how close of that margin can you go in there with and still actually have enough oomph by the time you're down fighting chaos.
This is really blossoming into an impressive comeback by Drumboardist. If he didn't make that mistake, he'd be in the lead. As it happens, they both made slight mistakes and passed the lead back and forth there, and now it's just about neck and neck. Seconds apart on the same floor, both approaching Kraken. And with that last random encounter, it's allowed him, I think, to take the lead on the map. Oh, look at this. Another lobster fight.
Sforzand0's little bit of a run got him Kraken first, but...
Sure, but he's going to grab this lobster fight here, and we should see twin Krakens on the screen here momentarily.
Lobsters are scary things to see. They already hit hard, so if they roll high, they can hit like trucks. And if they roll the nasty skill, you usually see multiple of them on the screen at once.
Drumboardist doing the fast here, busting up the magic instead of using heals, and quick swamp. And we've got twin Krakens, just like that. Doesn't get much closer than this at this point.
And both tucking that knight down in that bottom slot to try and make sure they can get enough evade built up so Kraken doesn't use those 8 tentacles.
Yeah, the Kraken hug of love is not what you want. He's gone with the defense sword first, and then he's going to start packing on the power gauntlets. Drumboardist side, pardon me. Sforzand0, on the other hand, has already taken care of business. He wraps up the Kraken fight. 1:15:15 on the clock when he does.
Always pictured Kraken, if you remember the old Bugs Bunny cartoon. I want to hug it and love it and squeeze him forever.
And Randomania has just joined us, bringing along 13 viewers. So welcome to Randomania 3, and welcome to this Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament matchup between Sforzand0 and Drumboardist. They are basically neck and neck at this point, with Drumboardist just killing Kraken at 1:15:50. He's almost 35 seconds behind. Exactly.
I just saw Nuke get up to level 16. That's especially for your black mage has saw 180 hit points. He's not going to really survive much, especially since you're not going to have that ribbon on your black mage.
At the beginning of the seed, for those just joining, it was very friendly to the runners. Lots of great low-level magic. All of the best progression items handed out in basically the right order. And so they both got off to very strong starts. Drumboardist took a tragic wipe on the final fight of the ordeals and dropped a couple minutes behind. And then Sforzand0 wiped to Warmech in the Sky Palace and allowed Drumboardist to catch up, which was a lead he then surrendered back by neglecting to light the orb and having to make a second trip after casting exit just to light it. That puts Sforzand0 back in the lead, but as you can see here, they're both entering the Earth Cave. They both have the rod. They're both in go mode, and this is anybody's race.
Yeah, it'll really be telling to see the first few levels of Topher with going in not even 20. It's going to be how much of your resources are you going to have to spend keeping yourself going? How many heal potions? How many charges? Is anyone going to decide maybe I need to go back and do a dragon grind, or just first level running around trying to take gas dragons or green medusas or something to get a few more levels, a few more points, a few more charges?
Looks like Drum is neglecting to even resurrect his Red Wizard, which is a bit curious. If you're not taking fights, you're not splitting any EXP because you're not gaining any. That's one extra person to help you run away or nuke your way through. So I'm not sure about this play here.
Yeah, it would be one person to run. Albany. Were the gargoyles unrunnable? Oh, they just have stun touch, so you wanted to nuke them down before they... Okay.
Yeah, he didn't want to get locked there, and he squeaks through that one. I mean, there's so little to fear in here in terms of HP that you can just blow your way through this place with charges of Fade, Ice 3, Fire 3, whatever you got. I wouldn't be doing too much basic attacking. I'm running or I'm nuking.
Took a few steps away from that chest and realized it was the Aegis shield.
Yeah, did he already have the Opal shield? Because he's got a ribbon on that knight, so that Aegis shield's not doing much for him. If he hands off the ribbon or something, then of course it comes into play.
I don't think he has dragon armor, so would be a little dangerous.
Yeah, I wouldn't be handing off the ribbon on the side of the dragon armor. That's a good point.
Even then, does Aegis and Dragon cover everything, including death? All of the various death elements?
So there's 8 elements. Death is one of them, and neither the Aegis nor the Dragon Armor cover death, but a Pro Ring will. So you're almost always going to have a Pro Ring on there. And then Aegis gives you the Poison Stone elemental protection, and Dragon is Fire, Ice, and Lightning. So you're still missing Earth, you're still missing Time, and you're still missing Status. And so it's a risky proposition to take the ribbon off your knight.
Especially when you're running Power Bonk, you're not running the Pro Ring, so yeah.
Yeah, then don't do it, because then there's so many things that can instant kill you. You can't do it in that situation.
I believe that ooze is the encounter 8 on that floor. Don't get to see the pink oozes too often.
Alright, Sforzand0 takes on Lich. They should be over pretty quick.
Yep, Fire 3, Fades, Excaliburs.
Got a charge of Nuke in there. Alright, Lich down at 120.22.
Now to see if a upper teen level party has enough oomph to get through, or if he's gonna hedge his bets, spend a little bit of time.
I think he's gonna be optimistic and dive in there.
He's not even gonna top off his heals. He's got 82 heals. He could go get almost 20 more.
So much cure magic, I think that he's gonna save every second here. Alright. And now Drum takes on Lich. Gets a good fade. Gets a good nuke, and he's done at 121.15, so just under a minute behind. Less than a minute back. of the
And
pace.
Sforzand0 had to reset out. The Ice Dragons had Ice 2 on, gave him a little bit of working over.
So he's already gained a tiny bit of time, but it looks like he's going to cough that back up, doing some shopping, possibly saving at the end.
I would have a hard time not going in with at least of the heal potions topped up.
Yeah, that sounds like you're asking for trouble. But in Sforzand0's defense, 82 is almost topped up, and he has a lot of charges of cure.
He is burning quite a bit of charges on this first floor. You might be just doing this more up. You're just going to go above, as it looks like, maybe.
All right, well, now they're high-fiving outside Topher, and for all intents and purposes, you could say they're in a dead heat. The only difference is that is their levels. And Drum is going to burn off all his 10s here so that he can move his heals into the left column for faster healing.
I just saw Sforzand0 get up to 20. I wasn't able to catch what Drum's levels were at.
And Drum runs off a couple of encounters, which indicates to me that he's not doing any grinding. He's doing some hero running. Sforzand0 has done exactly the same thing, so now we're basically jockeying for position as we sprint through here. Oh, there's the black shirt in the validation chest.
That's a reasonable validation item.
Yeah, and when your black wizard doesn't have a ribbon, it's actually superior to your gold bracelet. It's going to give you ice resist and time resist, and those might both come in handy.
And Drum 15 seconds behind, give or take. So we got a race.
I think it's the race that either player expected, and no matter who wins or loses, they are going to be so disappointed with the one critical mistake they both made. Sforzand0 wiping on that Warmech that maybe he could have run away from. I don't know if that's a mistake or just bad luck. You can argue one way or the other. I'm not trying to say he blundered or anything. I'm just saying it was unlucky. And Drum's unlucky wipe and his his blunder of not stepping on the orb. That's just a mistake.
Yeah, that's one that'll come back to bite you. And then you'll kick yourself a little bit when if you see that dot done. Especially you're already in Topher, you know that was, that one mistake was all the time you needed. But if nothing else, that's one mistake I promise you you'll never make again.
Yeah, that's one of those ones, like forgetting the mythic key or getting the loot. Like, those things you can do again because they're an easy mistake to make. Forgetting to step on the orb is a hard mistake to make.
One that I always make is forgetting to talk to Bicky after I beat his crew up.
Boy, you just can't kick a rock without it hitting the zombie D on this floor of this dungeon, so he's going to take the EXP here.
Yeah, I just saw the previous fight he leveled up to 16 and 17.
Yeah, can't blame him for that. That's running lean.
Especially
now he's 18.
I think they have fast is going to be one of the big things I think they're missing. So it might end up turning into an endurance match, and when you don't have the HP to back up that, you're looking at the white mage under 300, the black mage well under 300, red mage, all it's going to take is a nuke or a nuclear, your entire backline's going to be on the floor.
Oh, he's playing a little fast and loose with the cure charges there. Might need some of those later. It's so tempting to be fast and use up all your cure charges, but it doesn't take long and you're out. But this endless stream of Earths, goodness me. Okay, he should be onto an opening in the encounter table soon. They can't all be clustered together.
Yeah, heal charges I'll burn pretty quickly, but especially that cure 4, you like to have a couple of those in the bag.
Yeah, I don't like to use that on someone where it's like less than 400 or 500 HP. Like if they have 1 out of 700, sure, hit up the Cure 4. But if they're only, like their max health is 250, you don't need to use Cure 4 on that. Just blow through the heals.
Yeah, can't be any more neck and neck than this.
Yeah, you wanted a race tonight? Well, you got one. Under an hour 30 in, we're both on Lich 2 at the same time.
Even had simultaneous fire 3s firing off. Now I think you see the levels Sforzand0 has starting to pay off. Drumboardist was on the Lich fight for quite a while, and he's the easiest one so far.
Yeah, his fighter just can't do the same damage even with the same gear. And now he's not taking many more fights here, so he's going to be a little slower in all these Fiend battles. We might see Sforzand0 pull away just a bit. Those extra levels are going to mean extra charges of magic too, which means he can be a little bit looser. They're both now on carry it, I think in the first round. No shots fired yet.
Fire 2, and it's good in that it's not something worse, but that means that the bad stuff can be somewhere else.
Yeah, he's almost out of black magic already, so that does not bode well. He's going to have to go down to good old-fashioned, you know, Invis 2, Ruse Sword, Power Bonk. It'll work, but it's not fast.
Nope, Swirl leaves the white mage alive.
Well, that's a surprise.
If Carrie gets that Swirl off on Drum's side, I don't know that he's making it out.
But he's not. Drumboardist defeats Carrie, gains up to level 18. The gap's as close as it could possibly be, as they're both sitting here curing after the Carrie fight. Basically holding hands through the beginnings of the water floor, but Sforzand0 hits an encounter. Drumboardist on the long stretch of the encounter table pulls into a temporary lead. When I say lead here, I mean
Yeah, by
as much of a lead as a horse can have in a horse race.
Yeah, now we're getting to the gatekeeper though.
Going to take advantage of some caster items here and try and maybe squeeze another level out of this with Sahag Gershark fight. Sometimes these guys are not who you want to trifle with. Gersharks can have a ton of health. With Sahags can, of course, have any script, and they're plentiful, so they cause problems too.
Yeah, if I was gonna be wanting levels, I don't know that water floor is where I'm gonna start trying to look for them. But he got something out of it.
He got one, yeah. Alright. He's going to park himself right in front of Kraken. Heal up. Sforzand0 engages Kraken. And down goes the Black Wizard to the Warm Hug of Death. This is going to be not pretty. Whoever Kraken targets is dead. You just hope it's not your knight. Black Mage gets off that Ice 3, does 100 damage. It's more than Sforzand0 got out of his
evasion things off, defense and white shirt up, and Drum's Kraken being a little nicer, starting off with the slow 2.
He's going for the nuke, going for the fade. He's pulling out the guns here. It's like one thing at a time. He's not. Oh boy, there goes the White Wizard. Yeah, Invis shirt can forget about it. More fades. He's really just not leaving anything. He doesn't want to wipe here with charges, is the way I'm trying to say it. It's all or nothing. Worry about Tiamat 2 if you survive this one.
Yeah, get through and just hope that Tiamat's a little bit of a easier way.
Fade, 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 fade. Ice 3, Ice 3, Ice 3. Oh, Knight survives a hit. Only takes 123. That's good news. I might have gone for a Cure 4 there, just in case. It's over. Drumboardist gets by. And on the other side, Doom. Same thing. So, once again, absolutely neck and neck. It's going to be a rebuilding phase here. We'll see who can put the band back together faster. And then it'll be on to the final floor. Sforzand0 looking like he's got more levels, more charges, and runs into an encounter on the very next step. Drumboardist a little bit behind in levels and charges. And indeed does not seem to be able to bring back his white mage. He's gonna rearrange the gear.
Oh, did Red Mage not get a life? I thought Red Mage had a life spell. Oh, that's gonna be rough.
Might have been out of level 2 charges. Here we go, it's Tiamat time.
Yeah, Tiamat's gonna have to play nice, and he's not.
Not so far.
2 hits for 55.
Well, another defense. Okay, he survives. Another white shirt. If Tiamat's got mostly attacks and he can start dodging them, then he'll be in good shape. We'll see what the script is, if there's anything in the back pocket here to worry about. Over on Sforzand0, the battle just begins. His party's in much better shape.
I think he needs to do another defense before he... There you go, Cure 4.
Going for
Oh!
the hero Cure 4 on himself. That's looking like a power play. Knight's going to turn the tables now, probably do a little more power bonking. The Nukin Wizard is going for the meme strats, firing off the Bane. That would be lovely, but no Poison Smoke today. It's going to fall to this Knight to get the job done, I suspect.
Looks like he's got enough bonks in. Sforzand0 threw much faster due to his levels, though.
If you're watching Final Fantasy Randomizer for the first time, you're thinking instant death spells on the penultimate boss, is that a thing? And yeah, everything works 3 out of 256 times, so it's always worth a shot. And he's through Tiamat 2, he's going to be on Chaos. Sforzand0's superior party has moved past Tiamat 2 with a little more ease, and he's going to engage Chaos first. But it looks like we're going to have twin Chaoses in the late show here on the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament Swiss round. First round match between Sforzand0 and Drumboardist. Chaos starts with Lit 2, not a big deal. Sforzand0 starts with Nuke, that's going to work better. Both of them get off white shirts. Boy, this is about as close as you can be. You know, with fewer characters, Drumboardist has fewer choices to make. He knows what he's doing every round. Oh, there's a nuclear.
Lived through it.
He doesn't have to spend a lot of time thinking, he's just doing. He's already got his Knight amped up enough.
If he knew how close he was, it's just whole day to win.
Yeah. Puny damage here. I see a lot of Lit 2, I see a lot of attacking. I don't see a lot to be afraid of. He's swinging now, 4 hits, 450. This is Drumboardist making a hero's charge here at the end. Well, Sforzand0 spends a little bit of time thinking, getting off his magic spells.
Man, Drumboardist is hitting pretty hard.
Close as could possibly be.
I almost say he's better off with the fewer party members because there's less people to step up.
Less menuing, less to worry about. Oh, he's down to 93 health. He's got one more charge at Cure 4. He gets it off. He's back up. Dodges the crack. Over on Sforzand0's side, he's got a fade off. That's his last fade. Boy, it couldn't be any closer. They're just swinging, praying, hoping.
Oh, he went for the one last power bonk.
Another power bonk.
Oh, that's
238. Sforzand0 takes it, and Drumboardist wins, and it's all going to come down to SRL. It's too close to call from our beats. Whew, what a race. Let's look at the official SRL times, which are just going to come in momentarily.
Man, that was ending.
I have no words. I don't even know who won yet. It looks like 135.02 to Sforzand0 and 135.05 to Drumboardist, which is going to be 3 seconds too slow and good enough for a loss, unfortunately. Let's get these runners in after their heart rates go down and after my heart rate goes down for a little bit of post-race chat. What a show here in the first round of the Swiss tournament in the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament 2018.
Are you kidding me? Wow, GG, man. Are you kidding me?
Gentlemen, you guys just played what is definitely the closest race I've ever personally witnessed. Sforzand0, you're tonight's champion. You go first. What do you think?
Wow.
How was it this close?
Because you guys both were so kind to each other in such wild ways.
You have oh man, I can't wait to tell him what I did. But yes, please, Sforzand0, please, you have the floor.
One person would make a mistake, and you just, you know what?
In a scene that I'm sure you guys both saw had so little room for error because the beginning was, laid before you. You guys must have both known that you had to be very careful, and yet you both did things that were a little unusual. So, Sforzand0, you're the champion. What do you think I'm talking about?
I'm not 100%. I tried. I really believed that I was out of it when I wiped a Warmack because I really felt like I was 16. I needed to take a shot at Warmack because I was 16. I was kind of low, and I thought if I could get the kill, it would be a great amount of experience. And when I took the wipe, I was like, oh, goodness. And then I couldn't remember where all the treasures were. I remember where the ribbon was, but I couldn't remember where the other treasures were. So I unfortunately had checked a few more of the repeat chests that came up with nothing. So I knew I was a good bit behind.
And at that time, you were actually ahead. So I'm going to spoil for Drumboardist here. You perished, unfortunately, in Castle Ordeals right after you grabbed the loot. Your party was weakened. They died immediately after that, and that lets Sforzand0 have an early lead. But you were able to make that time back very well. And then as he wiped to Warmack, you actually passed him and completed the Sky Palace. But what happened then?
Me or him?
I'm talking to you, Drumboardist. What did you do after you defeated Tiamat?
Oh no! Did he pull Salty Fry or Quickly who didn't save outside and died? Did that happen?
No, even better. So you know how they always tell you make sure you have like a heal spell or some other spell directly in front of warp or exit.
No!
I killed Tiamat and was going to cure 4 and did not.
That exit boss will get you every time.
Well, actually, no. It was actually a really, really surprisingly good thing because I was like, I'm in go mode. We don't need to worry about anything. I got lost for some odd reason, like walking back up through, like, all right, not checking any chests, whatever. And I happened to find that one, the ribbon off to the left. I was like, wait, why am I over here? Well, I'm already over here. I guess I'm looting a chest. Wait, go back. Was that a rip? Oh my God! Tiamat, thank you from above for sparing me and then guiding me to exit. No, I take it back. You're still a jerk. Your 5 Agamas duct taped together. You suck.
Yeah, Drum. Me and Nitz were going like, "What the hell is he doing?"
We don't know.
And then we watch you run over the Bridge of Destiny. I watch you hit that spot, and the screen shakes, and the animation doesn't go. Oh, I know what happened.
The exit boss after defeating Tiamat before lighting the orb, which is 4 paces away. It was so...
And it does not light the orb, so yeah, you're screwed. Eventually, I went right back to Ordeals with a vengeance, because, yeah, pro tip, don't go to Castle of Ordeals with zombies that know, what was it, Blizzard, when you're like level 5. Mm-hmm. Do not do that.
That was kind of the narrative of this game, is because you guys got everything so quickly. You were promoted at level 5, level 6. We were really wondering, where are they going to get the experience? They have, all of the items they need. They still need a little bit of gear, but they're still level 6 and level 7.
Yeah, Magic was a little. I mean, we had Ice 3 to kind of coast us for a while, but
Magic
realistically,
was
yeah, looking at the end of the game, it was like these spells are not really. It was going to be tough, and I knew. Being a little behind and entering at 19, and then I took that Gas Dragon fight and immediately exited out because that's a nice chunk of experience. And so I was really hoping it would be a light Temple of Fiends because spell list really wasn't going to carry me.
Yeah, it really wasn't. I mean, did you find Fast, or did I just blank on it and not see it?
Nope. They were both 8. Fast and Temper were 8. I didn't even check. I never checked the 8 spell.
I got the Saber just in case, for some odd reason, I had to have the Vorpal on the Red Wizard, and maybe I would just, he's got enough invisible casts on him, maybe I could somehow eke this out. No, just Kraken's like, is that a Red Wizard? No, I'm sorry, Tiamat 2 took him out. Kraken was like, is that your only healer? Great.
Yeah, it was an unspeakably close race at the end. There were times where I was like, and Drumboardist pulls ahead, and Sforzand0 pulls ahead. Depending on who got in a random encounter, it was neck and neck. I compared it to a horse race. I mean, we had no idea. In the end, Drumboardist made up time on the Chaos Battle just because he had fewer characters to input commands for. So you were like trying to like, what am I going to do with this Black Wizard? He's got no charges or anything to cast. And Drum's just like, attack, attack, attack.
Honestly, the one thing that probably cost me this win is that after like attack number 12, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bonk one more time. And I still needed like 3 or 4 more turns. That's 3 seconds right there. If I just probably hit Godly Crit that turn, that would have been 3 seconds my favorite. Ah! I know I'm overstaying. I'm not actually this mad. I'm blown away about the fact that I made such hugely horrendous mistakes and was able to overcome my own stupidity many, many times and only lost by 3 seconds. So, congrats to you, Sfor. I need to go lie down.
Yeah, GG, man. The 0-1 bracket's gonna definitely have a tough opponent in there. So
not me. You saw those mistakes. All you have to do is not do that.
I saw you bonk. I looked over at Sforzand0's screen, and that's pretty much when Chaos went down on his screen, and you went, and it was so close that we couldn't call it based on what we were saying.
Yeah, it's one of those races where the feeds come in, you know, with a couple seconds one way or the other. You're not sure until the SRL numbers come in who actually won.
Yeah, I'm holding A and just staring at the SRL window going, come on, why aren't you done? Come on, why aren't you done? Done. I hit the button, done. No!
Yes, it was spectacular.
I was staring at the IRC probably from about carry 2 on going, all right, he's got to be there.
This was one of those races where so many times we make observations about, oh, they could have, you know, shaved a couple seconds by doing that. Is it really necessary to check these chests? What is he really looking for? Is he really going to use 40 heals? He could have cast a Cure 4 maybe. He's got lots of spare charges. There's all these little things that add up, and you're like, that's not going to matter.
I'm going to let you guess just how gun-shy I was about using Cure 4s after that little debacle.
Let me in on it.
That was a fantastic race. Like I said, you were both gentlemen, giving the lead back and forth, and then you have practically shared it.
If we could award 2 winners tonight, we would. But that's not how this format works, and Sforzand0 is tonight's champion. Drum, any last thoughts?
I did kill a Tyro when I saw one. Team State!
Sforzand0.
I also killed a Tyro.
Good man.
I guess Team Steak, that's great. But yeah, Drum, GG, man, that was a great race. And
Thanks,
yeah, we'll see.
It's really funny if you're going to try and tell people, oh gosh, this race came down to 3 seconds was the difference between the leaders. They're going to look at the beginning of this race and go, this? No, you. Commenting on my own play.
At the beginning, it wasn't so bad, but I mean, you both made some great choices and routing decisions, clever choices, and then you both made some, like, you had interesting decisions to make. The wipe was really unlucky. The choice to take on Ormec, the skipping the orb was just kind of, you know, a classic exit boss sort of thing. But in the end, you both like battled back from whatever went wrong to like push really hard at the end and make an incredibly close race. And awesome to watch for everyone. And thank you guys both for running. Demon Frog, my co-commentator. Final thoughts.
What can you say? You know, you always say, oh, you know, what's going to check, you know, those 6 chests in ice? What's that going to matter? And you know what? Every now and then it does matter.
Yeah, every now and then it does matter. And with tonight's 3-second differential, this was one of those times. So for everyone in Randomania and the Final Fantasy Randomizer Spring Tournament, thanks for watching tonight. My name is Nitz. It's always a pleasure to call these races, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I did. I was on the edge of my seat. My heart was pounding in my chest, and it was friggin' awesome. So thanks for everyone involved. My restreamer, Norestra, tells me, coming up next on Randomania 4, which we're going to throw it over to, we've got these other 2 Randomizer Max Random Mode quarterfinals. It's in progress right now. We're going to throw it over there. So thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of the night, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.
Thanks.